Hey Namely, welcome back to another episode of Crown Convos, the series where we ensure that you are feeling prepared and confident as you make your way towards NAM Nationals. My name is MT Duval, and today's episode is going to talk a little bit about something that gets asked quite a bit. How do you make NAM Nationals a family experience? Let's get into it. So we recognize that there are lots of different ways that support systems show up when it comes to NAM Nationals. Some of us may have our support systems supporting from afar, being a part of our prep leading up to the competition, and then supporting us via FaceTime and phone calls during competition week. In some cases, we have family members who are coming out to support you during certain times of the week. And then in other instances, we have entire families that are coming out to make NAM Nationals a vacation experience over Thanksgiving while also working in the fun of competing for the national title. As somebody who has done it pretty much every single way, I know that no matter how your support system is showing up for you, it's important to ensure that they are feeling prepared as well. Just as much time goes into prepping and preparing for being a contestant for NAM Nationals, we do also need to think about how we are preparing and setting our support system up for success during the week too. Which might sound silly, but when it comes to spending an entire week in a hotel room with your family, or knowing that you're going to need pep talks during certain lead ups of competitions, it's really going to benefit you to plan ahead. Let's talk about making your hotel room a communal space during the pageant. Now, for some of us, we may have our own room that we are dedicated and focused to setting up, and you could go back to those earlier episodes where we talked about packing and unpacking hacks and tips. But in many cases, we're going to be sharing the hotel room with our family, and that can get a little bit stressful sometimes. So things that I recommend. So number one, at the beginning of your week, if you have, honestly, whether you have adults or children staying in your hotel room, stock up on some snacks at the beginning of the week. Get your water bottles, put those sorts of things in the hotel room. There are shopping services nearby that you can either have delivered to the hotel, or that if you have a car or you want to take an Uber, you can go and pick up. It's worth it to make that initial investment at the beginning of the week, and that way you have what you need. It will also be less expensive if you just purchase some things in bulk that you know that you or your family members are going to need to fight off any snack cravings or thirst during the week. Just have that on hand and ready to go. The other thing is I would ensure, and we talked a little bit of this in the packing episode, but making sure that you have a copy of the schedule. Something that I like to do, and that I recently did when my daughter was competing, is I took the schedule, which there's a lot on that schedule, and it's fine for me as mom to take it and digest it. But I found that if I hand it over to dad or to grandma and I don't do a great job of explaining how to read the schedule, I might have them turning up at places and at events that I didn't really intend them to. So what I like to do is I like to take my daughter's schedule and create a secondary schedule that's specifically for like her dad or her grandma, that just has on the events that they need to be there for. And usually on that too, I put an arrival time, because we know that we start on time at National American Miss. So I'm going to tell them to show up 15 minutes early so they can get a seat, so they can get situated. And then the other piece is wardrobe. So what to wear. For most of nationals, the wardrobe is going to be pretty casual. There's some events where people will dress up more. Our Thanksgiving banquet is black tie. Finales, generally, people will get a little bit more dressed up. Sometimes people dress up a little bit more for formal wear if they want to grab some family pictures afterwards. So just helping your family members be set up for success by telling them where to be and what to wear is a huge help. The other thing is I would like, if I can, to give the people that are attending some kind of orientation to the space. On the final version of the schedules, we will include a map of the HRO, and there will be a walkthrough episode of the HRO coming up soon. So you can share that with your family members too, so they can get a sense of the lay of the land. But also, if you have some time before the week starts, it's good to walk the space with whoever is attending, just so they feel comfortable with where to find the different events, what the different ballrooms are called, and all of that. It is a really big space at the Hyatt, so taking that time at the beginning of the week just ensures that things go more smoothly and that it's not stressful. Planning for downtime is a really big thing, because while the contestants may have a very busy schedule, the schedule is not going to be nearly as busy for those who are coming out to support. So it's a good idea to think about what sort of activities, especially if you have younger kiddos, siblings that are attending, honestly, even older siblings attending, what are they going to be doing during the day? There are a lot of great amenities on site at the Hyatt Regency. There are tennis courts, there's an awesome pool, there's a secondary lap pool. You are in walking distance of a little restaurant, alcove, which is maybe like a 10-ish minute walk down the road. If you want to walk even further, you could walk to Icon Park. You're obviously within Ubering distance of the different theme parks. So just thinking about what your little ones are going to do during competition week, coming in with a plan is going to make things a lot less stressful. I know that we have some mamas who are competing, and maybe your kiddos are coming with you. Maybe your husband or significant other is coming to support you. I'm actually going to have a special guest a little bit later. I'm going to have my husband talk a little bit about his experience as a pageant parent from the perspective of working with both my daughter, but also supporting me as a competitor. So stay tuned for that. And then we'll also hear some tips from our fabulous National American Miss Elite Mr. Troy Kinchin, who is the proud husband to Tabitha Kinchin, our inaugural NAM Elite Queen. And he'll share a little bit, because he's had a chance to experience NAM Nationals as a parent, chasing around my daughter, actually. And he obviously has also been a supporter of his wife in her pageant prep. So we'll get to talk a little bit about that later on. But above and beyond everything else, have a plan. Look at the schedule. There are some days that the schedule is going to be a lot more open than others, depending on what optional contests your contestant is participating in. You might have more than just the one off day that you want to set aside to do the theme parks, or to go mini golfing, or to do some other sort of activity, plan a pool day. But again, just taking a look at that schedule, getting to know that schedule, and planning for that downtime will help to set you up for success and make the week a lot less stressful. All right, so since tonight we are talking about doing NAM Nationals as a family, I thought that I would grab my family member to talk a little bit about his experiences as both a pageant dad and a pageant husband. So you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Sam. I am a pageant dad to Charlotte, and I'm a pageant husband to Maria. I've been to many pageants, but I do remember going to the NAM All-American pageant with Charlotte a while back and having a good time.
All right, so you have had the chance to be at a pageant competition with a daughter competing from when she was about 4 years old all the way up through most recently as a 9-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And you've had various ways that you have been involved. What are some of the ways that you, even though maybe you're not like the primary preparer for the pageant, that you are able to work with Charlotte when it comes to preparing for any pageant?
Well, as far as preparation goes, we do a lot of practice when Charlotte does her pageants, and it's driven by you sometimes, but sometimes it's driven by me because I want her to do well. And the thing I feel like I can help most with is with interview, because that is kind of universal. Walking and dress is not my forte, but being able to ask questions and ask lots of follow-up questions, that's something I do at work. It's something I do with with her, and I really enjoy doing it because I like to see people kind of work through different questions.
And you've had the experience too of mock interviewing different competitors. You've actually mock interviewed people who have gone on to win Miss America.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are helping to mock interview, how do you do that if people don't know what that means to mock interview?
Well, typically, I've provided a sheet of questions that have been asked in the past. I might use some of those. I might riff on some of those to make it my voice, because I know, in pageants you have a variety of judges. I might not be someone they pick, but I have my own things of what I'm looking for. If I would want someone to represent me, in some part, as a judge, you're picking some percentage of the candidate that you want to show. So I want to ask a few questions, and I like to ask the curveballs too. I like to see how people react to kind of something that's a little bit strange. I mean, they haven't heard before.
Okay. So you've done the mock interview, and then you have also, when we're practicing walking, like you said, you're not doing walking coaching, but how have you helped with that when, I don't know, me as a competitor as well as Charlotte are practicing walking? How have you been a part of that?
Usually I'm assigned a chair to sit, and I sit there and mock a judge.
You mock a judge?
Well, I just sit, not make fun of a judge. I mock being a judge.
Got it.
And I will give feedback every now and then on anything I see. It's just from my perspective. I just try to be candid. It might be way off base, and it's like any feedback. You can take what you want and throw away what you don't want.
So we also have a son,
mm-hmm.
and he came with you. So can you talk a little bit about how you plan for having him at the event, knowing
mm-hmm.
that a lot of like my time and a lot of her time is going to be monopolized with competitions?
Well, it's the actual event stuff. So if we're going to go to an event, I say we're going to go there. It's going to be this long. We need to wear this. And there's always like a carrot afterwards. After we go to this, we're going to go get dinner or something like that. So he has something to look forward to, because I'm not one to sit there and chat or have a lot of tablets. You sit there and you suck it up and you watch it. And hopefully it's not too long, but there's always something fun to do afterwards, because the whole thing is supposed to be fun for everybody. And the other downtime is, a lot of times we're in Orlando, we don't always go to Disney World, but I think we played mini golf the last time I was there. Did some bowling, see a movie, just anything where just like there's a couple things on the calendar, and just kind of know what the day is going to look like from your perspective. You map out your daughter's day, but I can map out everybody else's day, because you'll make it clear ahead of time. I'm not doing that, and that's a fine boundary. I can handle that.
Right. And there's a really cool pool at the Hyatt Regency Orlando. In one of the upcoming sessions, Elizabeth Eisnagel, our NAM National Director, is going to take you through a walkthrough of the Hyatt Regency, so you can get a sense of the restaurants that are available there, and the pool, and the common areas that are around. But we've also found a lot of good restaurants, right, within walking distance of the HRO.
Yeah, I mean, I love the market. I feel like it has everything there. I'm always happy to go there.
Not pretend that people don't know what the market is.
The market is like a local deli in a hotel, but it has everything. It's open all day long, and it's right in the middle of going from your tower to the pageant, so you can't miss it. Okay,
so what about that walk? What should people know about getting from their hotel room to the actual competition space?
Well, it's going to take a little while. You're going to get your steps in, which is good. I actually like that about it.
Having seen her compete now for 5 years that she's been involved in pageantry, and starting from when she was 4 and she's 9 now, what are the benefits that you have seen for her through pageantry?
I can see in her school, she's a leader and a good spokesperson. Every time they have an exhibition of learning where the kids show us what they've done the last 6 weeks, she's always at the podium. She's always leading it. She's always voted to do it. She always wants to do it, and she's good at it. So I really enjoyed that, and it seems to help her confidence too. And she has no lack of confidence, and I attribute that to pageantry.
Well, thank you, Sam, for being a part of the Crown Convo.
You're welcome. I hope this doesn't all hit the cutting floor.
Now, just to switch gears a little bit, we are going to hear from Troy Kinchin, who is the husband of our inaugural NAM Elite.
Hi, my name's Troy Kinchin. I'm an officer in the United States Air Force. Currently, this beautiful landscape. I'm up here in the Arctic at Biedefik Space Base in the northern part of Greenland. In fact, I'm away from my wife for a year while stationed up here. And that hits on some of the topic here is how to support family during a pageant, leading up to, during the pageant, after the pageant. What I am always willing to talk about is that journey and how much I love being a part of the support system. I first experienced the National American Miss World and the pageant support system as an uncle with my incredible niece, who is beyond the cutest and courageous and an outstanding young woman who it's so fun to watch that growth and development that they get to experience through their pageant journey. Later experienced it with my own wife, who saw fit to join herself and really step out of her comfort zone and find ways to improve herself and all the different skill sets that she gains through that pageant experience. My wife is currently the National American Miss Elite for NAM, and it has just been an outstanding experience and a journey that's culminated to such an incredible opportunity for her this past year. Leading up to a pageant, there's a lot that goes into the support that's asked of you, whether it's as an uncle, a family member, a friend, a spouse. That support leading up to a pageant is incredible. It's so important. You want to give them the time, the space, help them with the energy, and take off some of the load of some of the things around the house as they're focused on that experience. The competition part of it, so it requires training, requires practice, it requires a lot of commitment. And I think it's just so important to make sure that you're there to support them. Sometimes that means taking on some of the tasks that might be shared in some other instances or opportunities. And sometimes that means there might be a little bit of a financial commitment to that pageant journey. And I think that what they get out of their pageant experience, the development, becoming better versions of themselves, in many ways, I would argue it's invaluable, and you can't put a price tag on the result and many results that they achieve. I think when it's time to actually support them during that pageant, the week of, every day, every hour throughout that experience, it's so important that you make sure they know that you have their back no matter what. That also means some physical pickup. So you're carrying dresses, especially, going from one place to another, going from the room to that next event. I'm carrying dresses, I'm carrying the purse, I've got backup this, backup that, and I'm making sure that they have that mental space to now focus and be ready for the competition side of things. I also want to make sure that after each event, yes, we're going to talk about it, we're going to do a little Monday morning quarterbacking, but I want to make sure that they understand that the focus is not to go back and think about all the things they want to redo or may be interested in, if I only would have said this or that. And I want to make sure that they know that each and every one of those opportunities, you're putting your best foot forward. You've prepared for months, weeks, maybe years for this opportunity. And what you did put forward is the best. And you should be very proud of, going into there, stepping into that experience. I mean, shoot, like the vulnerability alone that they expose themselves to is immense. I commend and look up to my own wife. I especially look up to the young girls, my niece. It's just so admirable what the pageant journey opens these young women and girls up to and what they get out of that experience. So now it's after the pageant, and how do you support your niece or your sibling, your family member? How do you support your spouse when it's time to reflect and it's time to look at, okay, what things could I have done better? There is only one winner, but I always want to make sure that they're focused on the fact that improving themselves, becoming a better version is an everyday experience. And through that pageant journey, it's no different. Every day through that pageant journey, they're becoming a better version of themselves. And I want that takeaway for them and for us in that case, especially for my spouse and my adorable, courageous niece. I want her to go out of that experience and say, I had fun and I learned and I grew, and I can't wait for the next opportunity where I get to do something like this again. If that's pageantry, once again, excellent. If that's another opportunity where they want to go step into another role or try out for a position, interview for something, then all the better. I think the most important part about after a pageant is not reflecting on perceived failures, but ensuring that you see that the entirety of the experience will holistically make you better, and focus on those values and those growth opportunities as they translate into so many more aspects of life. So another opportunity I've had the pleasure of experiencing is as a pageant judge. I've had truly the honor of sitting at the table and looking upon an amazing group of young girls, young women, and human beings and individuals who are clearly stepping out of their comfort zone, going and doing something bold, brave, and improving themselves in every way, shape, and form. And I think as a pageant judge, where in a way that's a support network on its own, the authenticity I'm looking for, it's a version of that person who is proud to be who they are. For me personally, I think that's one of the most important attributes I'm looking for. In the support side of things, I'm also looking for that in my niece. I'm looking to support that for my own spouse. I'm saying, hey, I just want to see the authentic you. And that's what they want to see as well. As a judge, that's what I wanted to see. And I think it's so important that as we navigate life, more often than not, in my personal experience, the authentic versions of ourselves are the ones who are most rewarded with true connection, friendship, and an appreciation for the side of life that's just sometimes difficult. And pageantry is difficult. All these individuals, all these amazing women stepping out of their comfort zone and trying to improve themselves, that is not easy. And I think when you can pull the authentic version of yourself, still always improving every day, absolutely, I think that's such a unique and admirable quality to see.
Thank you, Troy, for taking time to share some of your wisdom, and big shout outs to Tabby for being an incredible inaugural queen for us and representative of the elite division. Let's talk a little bit about audience etiquette. So number one, if your family members, and I'm talking to the family members right now when I say you, if you are available to attend your delegate's event, I would highly recommend it. And obviously you're going to be there and you are going to cheer on your contestant. But if I could make a suggestion, it makes for such a incredible experience for the contestants when they are on that stage, when the audience is electric and excited and supportive of every contestant. So something I would challenge you is when you are there, you're obviously there to support your contestant, but really hoot and holler and clap and applaud for every single one of these girls and these women, because they have put a lot of work into this. And it's kind of to walk out on stage and have this beautiful moment with a dead silent ballroom. Obviously, there are places where we're not hooting and hollering during personal introduction or during spokesmodel, but while the girls are coming out in formal wear, we can applaud when they are finishing their introduction and they're finishing their talent performance. Get loud, get excited, because the girls and the women feed off of that energy from the crowd. Now, obviously, we know that you're going to cheer extra loud for your contestant, and that's something that we definitely encourage. Don't be loud and disruptive during them competing where you're distracting them, but obviously when they have finished their performance, go wild. We have a partner, Regal Runway, and they have a lot of ways that you can support your contestant. One of my favorite things that they do is they have an ultimate fan package. Those kits will be available to you if you order them at pageant check-in. And I would definitely recommend checking that out. And they actually take your contestant's headshot. They do buttons. They make you a laminated spirit stick that help to celebrate your contestant. They're bedazzled, they're fabulous, they're magnetic. They create a door banner, which we don't recommend that you hang those on the outside of your doors because of safety reasons, but they are great to hang up in your hotel room and to keep as a keepsake. You could even have your family sign good luck wishes on them. They are a fun way to support your contestant from the audience because believe me, when people are holding up those heads on a stick, or sometimes I've seen people do like light up signs, it's so fun and it's such good energy in the ballroom. And I would highly encourage you guys to do that. But just remember to be respectful when you have the signs and things. Keep them up for your delegate, but not other delegates, so we're not blocking other people's daughter or significant other or family member on the stage. But bottom line is just be a great engaged audience member. Cheer extra loud for your delegate, but cheer for all of these contestants because they have all worked so hard to be here. Okay, this week's Crown Convo Challenge is very on point with the topic. We want to see your pageant crew. So whether they're showing off their spirit shirts, they're showing the posters that they're making in the audience, maybe you have a great video clip of them helping you out at the state competition, maybe you have a video clip of them helping with your packing or your practice. We want to see how your pageant crew gets into the spirit of prepping for NAM Nationals. You're going to upload that picture or video using the form below. And next week, we will announce one winner who will receive a Starbucks gift card to help fuel their family's journey to NAM Nationals.
They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision.
Let's check out a question that was submitted last week. The question is, will there be a dress swap for the elite division? The answer is that because of the staggered arrival, we will not have a swap for elite. However, Ashley and her staff will have extras on hand and ask you to try your dress on at the time of pickup so that they can work with you directly on any fit issues. Remember to submit your question using the link in the description below. Tonight, we are bringing back our photogenic flash sale. This will be your last opportunity to snag a photogenic entry or entries at our discounted price. What you're gonna do is fill out the form below. If you don't have your photos ready, that is totally fine. If you have them ready, you'll submit them and we will get that added to your order at the discounted price. Don't worry, if you have already added photogenic, you can always add it now and we will adjust your contestant statement to reflect the lower price. Really important, we've said it a lot, I'm gonna say it again, I'm gonna keep saying it. Photogenic entries have to be turned in digitally. either via this form if you're doing the flash sale or via the pageant portal using the upload button, which can be found in edit order. And you have to submit your photos for judging by November 12th. We will not accept entries on site. So it is crucial that the photos that you are planning to enter for photogenic are uploaded and prepared and submitted via the pageant portal by November 12th. Now, as always, I would not recommend waiting until the last minute because we never know what technology is going to do. You might hit a speed bump. Go ahead and upload those photos now, please, because that way you don't have to worry about it. Keep in mind that if you wait until the deadline and you run into a problem after business hours, there's not going to be anybody to help you. So again, let's pretend the deadline is November 11th. And that way, if something goes wrong, you're not upset about it. But don't forget to enter those photogenic. And photogenic is like the easiest optional to enter. We just need one of your beautiful photos, and that's it. Super low pressure. So definitely take advantage of this competition and of our flash sale pricing available only this evening. Before we finish out this week's episode of Crown Convos, let's take a look at last week's winner.
Follow me today as I make my first delivery across the border into Vermont.
Moving to the airport, she's an honest defector, conscientious objector, now her own protector. Yeah, a broken skyline, which way to love land, which way to something better, which way to forgiveness, which way do I go?
I had the opportunity today to deliver 40 kits, 20 to the Windham County Safe Place and 20 to the Brattleboro Police Department. I enjoy these opportunities to go and spread awareness to police officers and any first responder, really, and tell them that these kits mean a lot to kids and young adults. And me, that I'm doing all this, and it's getting across hugely.
Congrats, and I can't wait to see what your entries look like this week. All right, that's all we got for this week's episode of Crown Convos. We will see you back here, same place, same time. Keep working hard, keep shining, and we'll see you soon, Emily. Have a good night.